Hi, I'm Lewis Bell, Pre-Sales Engineer with UiPath. This is an AI Fabric and Document Understanding demonstration. The problem we've set out to solve is this. We need to be able to extract the information out of invoices. This is a difficult problem due to the volume, different formats, and many different vendors. I'd like to begin by showing off what our pre-trained machine learning model for invoices can do out of the box. So here are 3 example invoices that we can look at. As you'll notice, they're all from different vendors, they're in different formats, and they're actually in different file formats as well. We have 1 PDF and 2 PNGs. So we will need to use OCR, optical character recognition, to digitize these documents, or the PNGs, before we're able to extract information from them. We'll pull up UiPath Studio here and run our workflow. So the robot is digitizing this document, and then sending the information to our UiPath invoice model to query it for the classification and extracted data. I'm using our validation station to present the extraction results. So what we'll notice is on the right side we have our document, and on the left we have all of the information that we were able to extract. These fields are all defined in our pre-trained invoice model. It's what our UiPath ML team decided should be on every generic invoice. So we have things like date, name, invoice number, and so on. We see next to the extracted values, there's also this confidence level. This is how confident the model is that the value extracted is accurate. So all of this was extracted using our pre-trained invoice model. Now what I'd like you to notice is there's one field on this invoice here, customer ID, that we did not extract. This is because our pre-trained model was not taught to recognize that field. What I'd like to show you in the rest of this demonstration is how we can actually take our base invoice model and add a custom field to that by labeling several documents that have that field on it, and in turn retrain our model to create a new, more powerful model that will be able to recognize these custom fields. Now I'm going to show you UiPath Data Manager. This is the tool that we'll use to label our customer ID or custom field to create a new data set to train a new machine learning model on. So this labeling tool is going to look pretty similar to our validation station. I've gone ahead and uploaded our sample set of documents here and configured Data Manager to pre-label the fields based on our pre-trained invoice model. So I'll go through a couple of these here, and we can see that the invoice model was already able to pull out all of these fields here. What I'm going to do is upload another document that has a customer ID on it and label that to show you how we can do this. So I'm going to add another invoice to our batch here. So this is the new invoice that we've imported here. It's a Tiefling Glass vendor, and it has a customer ID field right here. Since we've configured our pre-labeling and imported our invoice schema here, these are all the fields that the pre-trained model has already been trained on, let's go ahead and hit the predict button. So once I've hit predict, the pre-trained model is going to pull out all the information that it's already been trained to recognize here. The only thing left for us to do is to add in our custom field, in this case, customer ID. So I've already defined it as a regular field in our data manager expressions here. And what I'm going to do is just highlight the field, select it in our invoice, and press the hotkey associated, in this case C. And now we're able to see that Data Manager has correctly labeled this piece of information. And if I highlight it over here, it's actually able to show us what it looks like within the document. So I've gone ahead and done this for the other 27 documents here. I've predicted all of the information. I've extracted everything from the regular invoice model, as well as labeled this customer ID manually of custom fields. We can go ahead and export this as a data set. This will save it as a zip folder. Once we've exported our data set from Data Manager, we can go to AI Fabric. So in UiPath AI Fabric, what we can do is we can create a new project and upload our data set. So I've gone ahead and created Invoice Customer ID, the project here. Now I'm going to upload this as a data set, Go to Upload Folder and drag and drop this into AI Fabric. Once we have a data set, we can go ahead and create a new ML package here. We're going to use an out-of-the-box document understanding package that we're going to train on our new data set, which will include our custom field. So we'll start by using our base invoice model here. Once we've created our package, we'll go ahead and start the pipeline. So we'll start with a training run here. Using our custom data set that we've exported from Data Manager. After our training pipeline is complete, we can go ahead and create a new ML skill. This particular run took 155 minutes to train our new model. So we'll go into ML skills, hit create new skill, give it a name, then choose our package, major and minor versions. And once our status changes to available, we can go ahead and use our skill within UiPath Studio. After we've deployed our machine learning skill, we can go back into UiPath Studio and change our endpoint for our Invoice's machine learning extractor. So here we'll remove our Invoice endpoint, and we'll select the ML skill that we just deployed. So now we'll rerun the workflow on the same 3 invoices that we did at the beginning. We should see that we're able to now identify the customer ID field. Here's our first example, HP invoice. We see all the fields that we were able to get previously, as well as our new customer ID field. Here's our second example, the Intel invoice with our customer ID field. And finally, our Tiefland glass example with our customer ID field. Post-extraction, the robot exported all of the extracted results into an Excel sheet. So here we see the headers are all of the fields defined in the taxonomy, as well as the confidence value, which are all going to be 1 since we confirmed the values during validation. So that is how you can take our pre-built existing models and add a custom field to it. Thanks.